It's fortunate you live in the
Yep.
in the house that we recorded in.
What's the what do we need these reindeer noses for?
They're doing the jump, the pop filter.
Pop, pop, pop. Pop cap in your ass, bitch. Pop cap in your ass. Pop cap in your ass.
What?
That is so fucking loud. Don't listen to me.
Shooby dooby.
Dup, 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 dup.
You put a doobie in a boobie and you smoke it. It's a shooby dooby boobie.
Now, if you're Blake Bortles, you're down by 10. You have plenty of time. And an interception, and you're not down by 10 anymore. Andre Howe, his second interception of the day, and this one is a pick six.
Manziel hit from behind, lost the football, covered by the Jets.
Tannehill hit on the release, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Preston Brown. A nightmare scenario for Miami. Gabbert from the gun here for the Bengals. Gabbert able to just get it off. It's picked off the deflection. Adam Jones.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Three-Step Flop. You don't really expect to hear my voice again on this podcast, but I am gracing you once again. I'm your guest again this week. I'm here with my my friends, the hosts of this show, Mr. Tony Dotel and Mr. Gator Strand. Fellas, y'all, what are you doing today? How you feeling?
I'm doing great. I'm getting healthy. I'm just
Why is
kidding.
that funny? Man,
It's funny because we just talked about it.
You don't
a
have
minute
to.
ago.
This is not take one, you guys, but it's okay because
That's
it's
why
going to
I
be
laughed.
organic.
It's-
And from 3, 2, 1, now
Organic material. Here it is. This is me.
we are now off script. Oh shit! Sorry, what did the script say?
boy, oh boy.
That's how we started out.
So
I'm great. That's my answer.
All right, so now that everybody's not stopped listening to this podcast, let's get the guy that everybody wants to hear talk, and that's Tony. Tony, what's going on, brother?
Hey, I'm recovering from a slight cold that hit me hard in the middle of the week. So I'm still a little stuffed up, but other than that, I'm feeling good, ready to go.
Tony sounds a lot better than he did last week, or earlier in the week, I should say. He's definitely cleared up nasally. I'd say that you
Yeah,
went from
man.
doubtful to a full questionable, but you're going to play.
Yeah, I think you can still kind of tell. You can still hear it, but on like Wednesday, all right. on Wednesday, it was really, when you blow your nose like literally as hard as you can, but nothing happened. Like it's just so compressed that nothing happens. That's what we were dealing with. So it was bad to listen to me talk. But now I think it's passable.
I'm happy to have you back at 100%. Gator, you said you're getting healthy.
I am.
We did talk a little bit earlier today about your night last night. Sounds like you had a
Yeah.
good time drinking.
I did. I was hanging out with some broomball friends as well as Brian Rankin, and he is also a broomball friend and a real friend.
Oh, man.
And I had whiskey because I'm trying to stay away from beer, just to lighten up on some of the calories. But it doesn't help when you have 11 shots of whiskey. So I think we did some dark drunk golfing in the middle of the night last night.
I think if I were to do 11 shots of whiskey, I think my head would fall off.
That's what I felt like this morning. So
I'm trying to figure out if I've done 11 shots of whiskey in my whole life.
I don't think so. You used to do the mixed drinks kind of thing. So.
I've definitely done more than 11 shots. I mean, in my life, come on.
Yeah. Oh, in your lifetime. Maybe one night. I don't know.
I mean, no, definitely not in one night. Whatever.
and I was
Move
drinking
on.
them neat too, just no ice, no mix or anything, just
Ugh.
sipping on them.
Gator has a ton of hair coming out of his shirt right now.
I'm a man.
Oh,
all
man,
right?
he's a man.
Got hot blood.
Tonight, we're all going to see Revolution, Good Vibes Band. We're going to go see him at Newport. Not Newport, what the hell? They're in Covington, Madison
Our
Theater.
old stomping ground.
Yeah, so we're going over there. That's going to be a good time. We're just kind of hanging out a little bit before. We will let everybody know how that show goes, so anticipate good things.
They're all titillated.
Edge of
right
their
now.
seats.
All right, let's get into it. I mean, we had a full week of football. This was a week where not a ton of bye weeks, so we had a lot of good matchups with everybody. Kind of like before we kind of get into the granular stuff, what was some of your bigger takeaways from the week, guys?
Oh man, as you can tell, we all have not really done a lot of prep for this podcast, but man,
Let the cat out of the bag.
I'm not
They don't
remembering
know
a
that.
lot from last night.
Tony, let's start with
Are
you.
you asking what my biggest takeaway?
Yeah,
from last
just
week
like
was?
football, like not just anything in
I
football.
think I should start putting my quarterback in.
Wow.
Yeah.
I
good
think
point.
as far as like, I think I'm going to shift my strategy going forward, and I'm going to start putting a quarterback in my lineup.
Speaking of, I'm going to do that to mine right now.
To that point, I think I might start shifting my strategy to not putting my quarterback in because I think that would provide more points for them than what I have now.
Sometimes the opposite is good for someone, so I think maybe you should try that.
I'm having a really tough time. I went up to Columbus on Saturday to hang out with my friends from college. They're generally Browns fans, so we woke up, kind of the headache thing, kind of hung over on Sunday morning, and they were playing in London. And unfortunately, I had to watch like 5 hours of football with these Cleveland Browns fans, and it was miserable. I don't think I've ever sat through a more miserable football game in my life. So I'm really looking forward to not having to watch the Bengals play this week, thus not having to put a bet on them as well. So that's something I'm definitely looking forward
I'm
to in
also
week 9.
looking forward to that. I'm tired of betting on them
Oh, my gosh.
because of you chumps.
Yeah, it's after the Bengals game last weekend, I'm ready for a bye week.
I think just mentally we just need the break. We need to stop.
Hasn't been great.
It has not been great as he takes a sip out of his Bengals glass. We love the Bengals, okay? This is a pro Bengals podcast, and fuck Cleveland, fuck the Browns.
Hey, just real quick.
Oh, shit.
You guys remember when Cleveland blew that 3-1 lead?
No, tell me more about it.
Do you remember? So they were actually up in baseball. It was a 7-game series.
Oh, okay.
They were actually up.
How many games is it in basketball?
I think it's 7.
Okay.
I don't know a ton about NBA, but I think it's 7. So,
Okay.
so basically, so you have to win 4.
Mm-hmm.
And Cleveland had won 3. They were up 3-1.
Right.
They only needed one more game to win. out
They
of
surely
3.
had to. They were surely lost those games on the road, right?
You would think, but yeah, I mean they went down
That's tough.
in front of their home crowd.
That sounds familiar. Something
You know, I yeah, it's
I've
interesting.
heard that before.
It is almost like
Anyway,
That's a tough cream pie to take. They definitely impregnated somebody earlier this year. So give a cream pie, take a cream pie. It's all the same. So congratulations to the Chicago Cubs, our man Alex Evdeq and Austin. You know, hats off to you guys. Happy for your championship.
Bobbick's in Chicago as
Bobick
well.
Yeah,
as well. Thank
good
you.
good contribution.
Bobick's not in the
Way
quarterback
to bring
league.
it home.
Yeah.
Bobick's not in the quarterback
Oh,
league,
good
so
point, good point,
you know,
good point.
just bringing it back.
Yeah,
to
we're not just gonna mention everyone we know who lives in Chicago.
Marty's in Chicago.
My aunt lived there for 15 years
Right.
back in the 80s, so that's
There you go.
Let's recap a little bit of last week. I know that contrary to what I was hoping, Austin and I had another poor performance week. So let's start on the bad end and work towards the good.
All right, from the bad to the good. Well, at the bottom of the list is Austin with negative 9.4. Tony's already laughing.
It's just funny. It's fun. I'm sorry. It's Austin. It's not that it's you. It's the fact that I've put I did nothing. I didn't put my quarterback in, and I did better than you. That's what's funny.
Well, you're not the only person who did better than.
Yes.
Who'd Austin take last week?
That's what I'm trying to figure out. Where it's the best way to
I've
see
got it.
that.
I've got it. He
I have
took Mariota against
Okay.
Jacksonville.
All right. So Mariota against Jacksonville in a butt game that no one would ever want to watch.
AKA a Thursday football game.
18 for 22, 270, and 2 scores, no picks. So basically superstar numbers right there from a shitty ass quarterback.
Yep. Mariota's I'll pick him most weeks depending on the defense. So that's kind of a shame for you, Austin. It's a little unlucky there, but Jacksonville's not great either.
Yeah, contrary to Aaron's popular belief in his own brain.
They got a lot of talent on that
Yeah.
squad.
Yeah.
Khan's got to make some changes in that place because they got way too much talent to not be performing. Still a Blake Bortles fan. Still not going to pick him at all this year, just out of principle. And I did pick Poopy Doopy Mishmash, Chris Hogan this week.
We are at you. If we
And
do
yes, I know where I was, and I wasn't good. So I admittedly picked this quarterback thinking he was going to be the starter. But when I reviewed the picks previous in the draft, I saw someone picked Josh McCown, which I was kind of bummed at. But then I thought, worst case scenario, I get 0, and that's better than I've done some weeks. So in my head, I'm like, okay, Hogan's not the worst pick in the world.
So you consciously made that decision.
In a way, I did.
Okay.
When I made the pick, I thought Hogan was going to be the quarterback,
Okay.
and then I was like, wait a
So
second.
you didn't, is what you're saying. So it was not a conscious pick. You just realized afterwards that it could work out for you, which is you're lying.
I feel attacked.
You're not
You are.
attacked. We're just
Oh, okay.
we're just trying to get down to the bottom of this.
I was confused by your rhetoric, and I think what
You
I meant-
have been watching the debates.
when I picked him, I thought he was going to be the starting quarterback. Realized afterwards that he was not going to be the starter.
Yes.
And then I was like, okay, that
After
is
you
going
picked.
to be a better pick.
Yes.
But anyways, I'm going to continue. I bucked the trend this week because I didn't pick the Cleveland
You
quarterback.
ended up with negative .08.
Okay,
Well,
well,
we're still going back. We're still.
How did that? Okay, so
He had, like,
'cause
two
McCown
You got him
passes.
for one play
Yeah.
at 4 yards.
Oh, you got him for one play.
I believe so. I believe he did. He had 4 yards.
well,
That could have been a genius pick if he would have thrown a pick six on his only play. People would have
That's
looked
what I
at
was
you
thinking
as
when I
the
picked
Bill
him.
Belichick of the
I was
back
thinking-
quarterback league.
I was thinking he's going to be the backup, and I figured if he get in, he'll throw a pick six. So that was my entire plan. I like his last name. I like Hulk Hogan. So Hogan was a great pick. I don't like the Browns, so I'll stick by that one. Tough week for me, but I've had
Okay.
worse.
Next up, we've got Tony at 0 points.
Yeah. 2 straight weeks. I thought I would let you guys back into the game, so I've done that.
did.
Now it's nice and close. It's a little less. I wish I wasn't in fourth. I shouldn't have let you guys get this far ahead. So that's on
you
me.
dropped far.
That's on me. But from this point on, it's going to be nose to the grindstone, full on. Tony's
Both of
got
these
this.
weeks that you've let someone go, they've scored above 30 points.
I
been-
am aware.
It's been ridiculous. As Brian said earlier in the message today, if we started a team with just the players that you've left on the bench, they'd be beating Aaron for sure, Austin.
Yes, and
And maybe Taylor.
I appreciate that compliment that Brian gave me. Thank you, Brian.
I have a suggestion to the commissioner. Instead, so it seems like some weeks it behooves people to bench their players, right? They get 0 points, and that's clearly an error on the manager, right? So they forget to plug it in.
Oh my God, are you about to
Here's-
propose a
here-
penalty for not
No,
putting your quarterback in?
my
No,
proposition
no,
is that if you forget to put your quarterback in, your points for the week should be equal to the person that had the worst
No,
week. So
no,
if someone gets a negative 10,
So
and you
what did
forget
I
to
just?
plug 'em
So
in,
a penalty.
you
That's
should
what
get-
I just said.
you should get a negative 10
That's
points.
ridiculously wrong.
No, because I mean,
I'm talking to the commissioner, actually. So Brian, I'm talking to you, who has made good decisions in the past.
Yeah, so don't deviate from that and accept whatever bullshit Aaron's about to say.
yeah, I don't like that at all. I mean,
What's your reasoning for that?
Because
Why should you be punished more?
you've made a huge
So if
mistake.
anything, it should be a number like -5, because that makes more sense than being tied to the person who does the
Aaron's
worst.
just sad at that the fact that you didn't start a quarterback and you're still higher than him.
you would
That's
rather bring more people down with you.
Yeah. I think it's a bigger crime to not play your player and not play this fantasy league, because that's like putting in an incomplete lineup.
To be really bad at it and pick somebody who's terrible and gets negative points. It's a bigger crime to not put anyone in.
Yes, I do.
Unbelievable.
I think so.
Unreal.
I think it is. That's like putting someone on your roster on the injured reserve, which should get you booted out of leagues. Here, sir. Next topic.
All
Brian's
right,
going to
let's move
consider.
on.
We'll hear about
Let's
it.
move on. Oh, who's next? I think
You know what? If it was head to head, I would almost agree with you. But since it's not head to head, I disagree completely. So move on. I was giving you a little. I'm giving you a little credit.
You can't move on.
I don't need a little credit.
Oh
I need
my
full
God.
credit.
Next, we've got Drew, 1.26 points, and last week he went with Bortles.
I think you should have picked a
Bortles.
better quarterback guy.
Didn't he go with Bortles again this week too?
No, Austin went with Bortles this week.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, go on.
Bortles had 21 incompletions, 3 passing touchdowns, which is where all those positive points came from, 2 sacks. So Bortles got lucky.
Yeah, because he's bad.
Yeah, he is. He's really bad.
I mean, the fact
they
that he
play?
went first overall is pretty significant this week.
This week they played at Tennessee, so I mean,
You had to
I
pull
guess
that trigger.
Tennessee's not a great
No.
defense.
No,
either,
they are
so
not.
That's a crap game. It's a crap game.
In fact, if you would have picked Blake Bortles every week of this season, he would have 100 points.
Really?
So you'd be right in the thick of it if you picked Blake Bortles
Is that
every
for
week.
real?
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd still be in 6th place.
But there's a lot of close
Right,
people
right,
in there.
right.
So.
All right.
The point is Blake Bortles is bad. That's the point
He
I was
is.
trying to make.
All right, next up we got Alex with 3.96 points, and last week he went with Jay Cutler. Of course, we all knew that was going to happen.
The cut man.
But I'm pretty shocked about Minnesota's defense not stepping up.
Yeah, Minnesota. It's funny because I've kind of kept my eye on Minnesota because from the beginning of the season they looked like really good, and I think everyone was trying to figure out if they were legit. And then finally, when everyone's like, "Yeah, they're legit," they lose to the fucking Bears.
Right.
So like, I don't even know.
I mean, I will say this was at Chicago.
Still, it was just a fluky thing. Alex, you should have got more points, man.
Yeah, I don't blame you for picking Cutler at all.
Terrible pick. terrible pick. He clearly was going to have a great game. You know what? I'm just kidding. I'm going to pick Jay Cutler whenever I get the chance. He's one of the worst quarterbacks to ever lace up a pair of sneakers, and I think that he's a legit pick.
You think Jay Cutler ties his own sneakers? You think he has somebody that does it for him?
He's probably got that dime wife that's going to do it for him.
She's babe.
That Real Housewives lady or whatever she is.
Yeah, what's her name?
I don't know.
She was on an episode of The League.
Cavalario or something?
Yeah, Kristen Cavalario.
Kristen Cavalario. She's sexy, so maybe a little points to him for that. I think the Bears are shit, so who's next?
Let's move on. Bears are shit. Taylor had...
fuck Taylor. She doesn't listen to this podcast. Let's skip
spend
her.
less time on her.
Fine, less time.
I'm kidding. That's a joke. That's a
8.7
joke.
points. Went with Cam Newton auto-drafted because we were in Tennessee,
Gatlinburg,
and she was drunk on moonshine.
Was she the only auto draft?
Last week? I don't know. I just remember Taylor was definitely auto-drafted.
Okay.
This week we've had two. Taylor again and John.
Taylor really doesn't give a fuck.
Well, she's working today, so she had...
No excuse. I was working on a lot of important stuff today, too, and I got my pick in.
Well, Taylor often does better when she auto-drafts, so it's almost a conscious decision at this point. I thought it would be fun to add a team, just theoretically add a team and auto-draft them and see how well they do.
No, terrible idea. Terrible. Commissioner, shoot it down immediately.
I mean, we could retroactively track that on our own.
Right.
I would be interested to see how that would go, too.
Right. That'd be cool. All right, next I think we've got John here. Let me make sure he's next.
John, who by the way, did give Nick Foles a nickname when he picked this week.
Thank
Which
you.
He
Yeah.
has been hounded.
No, actually, John auto-drafted, and Brian gave
Oh,
him his
no,
nickname.
I thought John did it. Ah, damn it.
New rule change, -5 points for people who don't put in a game on their quarterback, effective immediately. Tony got -5 this week already.
Yeah, I like that. I'm okay with that one. Does John listen to this podcast?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Well, fuck him too. Then. He went with Tyrod Taylor against New England.
Terrible pick.
I love Aaron. I love him. He's just criticizing everyone above him.
Okay. Keep going. I didn't mean to cut you
No,
off.
you're fine.
That means Gator, you're right. I'm going to shut up now.
I got my thought.
Going against New England's always a good pick. 19 incompletions. I don't see any passing touchdowns here, so
Yeah, Tyrod. The thing is, the Bills, they have no receivers because Watkins is out and Robert Woods has been hurt. They have like nobody to throw to. So even if I think Tyrod's a pretty solid quarterback, but he's going to be a decent pick now against good defenses because nobody can get open.
yeah, I'm afraid of picking Tyrod. I think
his legs can definitely hurt you. That's why I'm afraid of him.
Is New England a good defense, though?
Well, I guess I wouldn't say that it's a tough defense, but I think just playing against New England with no wide receivers is always difficult.
Fair. That's fair. Maybe a decent argument, but we'll give him partial credit. How about that?
All right. We've got the commish up next with 13 points, who went with Taylor this week. A good little transition there. Went with our favorite Brock Osweiler against Detroit.
The Pokemon character himself.
Mm-hmm.
In hindsight, this might have been a better selection if he were available. Brock Osweiler is going to continue to be one of the worst quarterbacks that plays in the professional football league. I would like to think if there was an AFL or an alternate football league, that he would be one of the worst quarterbacks in that league.
Wow.
As well. So shifting him down even a league, he'd be a very poor performer.
That's saying a lot.
Well, I'm pretty sure he's on a bye this week.
He is, which
So.
I was looking for him when I went drafting that in my last place spot this week. But unfortunately, he's on a bye. A lot of teams are on a bye this week. So
buys.
yeah, it's a tough week.
I think there's two weeks in the season that have big buys, right? So like was it 6 or 8 teams have buys 2 weeks of the season? Like this is one of the bigger.
Yeah, I mean this
the biggest
one.
bye weeks.
So
I think it's at least 6. I think it's at least 6 teams.
6 teams.
I think.
There's 13 games. Oh no, there's 6 teams on bye.
6 teams.
Yeah.
Chicago, Cincinnati, New England, Arizona, Washington, Houston.
Yeah, so that takes up Osweiler off the list. That takes
Palmer.
Cutler. I mean, Palmer's not normally on our list.
Maybe
but,
Cousins. Also,
speaking of Palmer, Lauren took him last week. Were we speaking of Palmer? Yeah, we were. Okay.
You were.
Lauren took him last week with 16.74 points.
yeah, he's been he hasn't. I mean, well, 16.74 points, but so 11 incompletions, 363 yards, 3 touchdowns, and a pick.
3 touchdowns and still got 16 points. I
think
it's 8 sacks.
A shit ton. Oh, 8 sacks.
8 sacks.
Holy shit.
That's where it came from.
Yeah, against Carolina's defense, who finally showed up to play for once.
Yeah, so I thought that was who's Carolina got this week. That was something I was looking at. Carolina's going up against L.A. Did anyone take Keenum? Is he still?
Case Keenum. I imagine somebody did, right? No,
I don't think
nobody
anyone
took
did.
it. Nobody took him.
Everyone is. We're still waiting to prove that Carolina is a good defense. I think.
Still, I'm kind of surprised he didn't get taken.
Yeah. Anyway, Palmer ended up being a good pick. I try and avoid Palmer. I think he's normally pretty good, but good job, Lauren. Good job, Lauren. Next up, we have me. I've been waiting to talk about me all week because it was a glorious week that chucked me up into first, shuttled me up there real quick, real fast.
Yeah, I've been waiting to talk about this too.
I went with Phillip Rivers, going up against Denver, and honestly, that was the only reason because of Denver's defense. Like I don't care who's playing against Denver. I'm thinking about picking them.
Yeah, those 3 picks definitely helped you out.
One
Not to
was a
mention,
pick 6
and 27 incompletions, which is just absurd.
Yeah, he had 2 passing touchdowns and still got me 43 points.
It's unreal.
It's insanity.
So Aaron's now joining us. He had to run a quick errand. It's good. I'm glad that you're back, Aaron. This is really going off the rails.
We were just talking about me, Aaron. We were talking about my 43 points.
The good week.
Yeah, Phillip Rivers against Denver.
All right, I'm gonna go take another break. I don't want to hear about this. You came in first last week.
Mm-hmm.
Phillip Rivers. What's your thoughts on Phillip Rivers just overall?
I think
As a person, not necessarily on the field, just as a
person.
human.
I
He's
think-
got a lot of kids.
I think if you had to rank worst people as humans on any NFL roster, Phillip Rivers would be in a top 5.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Why
along
is
with
that? Why is
Vontez
this?
Burfict. He's got a punchable face. I think that's really all you got to judge it by.
Vontez is on there.
Tez is on there for sure. I think Joey Porter, even though he's not a player, is on there.
Yeah.
I think you got to put Greg Hardy on there.
I mean, of course, he's
You
number
have
one.
to. But yeah, I'm not a big fan of the fact that you had a good week. So
I love it. I'm sitting up here pretty comfortably in first place. Not that comfortably, but
Nah,
Feeling-
not for
feeling
this
good.
week. Did you hear that I have a quarterback in this week?
yeah, we're all in trouble again.
Yeah,
So-
yeah.
All right, let's talk about since we're recording this so late in the week, everyone's already picked their quarterback, so there's no reason to make predictions or anything like that. But let's just go through quickly our picks this week and kind of talk about and if we think they're good picks, they're bad picks, or whatever.
Yeah,
well, clearly whoever I'm going to pick is going to be a bad pick because
obviously.
I have not been able
You're
to
trash.
I'm trash. I'm a trash bad quarterback player. I'll admit that. I went ahead and I picked who did I pick this week?
Aaron just gets to go. He just gets to go.
Why don't we start with your second? So why don't you just wait your turn there, bud?
Why don't we talk about Austin's
We'll
pick?
go with Austin first since he was the first pick.
Oh, I thought we were talking about us 3. Okay.
No,
there are
everybody.
other people in this
Okay.
league.
Everybody. So Austin went with Blake Bortles, and he used 2 turtle emojis for the nickname Blake Turtles.
Which I appreciate because if you just did one turtle emoji, it would just
not
be
plural.
turtle, but you have to put a second, so it's turtles. And
love
so I
that.
think Austin really thought that through, and for that, I thank him.
He wins the nickname of the week
Yeah.
right there, I think. Next, go ahead, Aaron. Now
I don't want to talk about it anymore.
No, you're up. Yeah, you got to talk about
All right,
it.
I picked Ryan Fitzpatrick this week. I really wanted to pick the Cleveland quarterback really bad, but I decided to do it a little differently this week. So I went with Fitzpatrick. We've been predicting that if we were to calculate year-end totals of worst quarterbacks, he's going to be up there, right?
Who's he playing against?
At
Dolphins.
Miami, which is could be a risky game, right? But it's on the road. I think the Finns might have a good uprising week. So I'm throwing it out there. I'm changing it up a little bit this week. I got Fitzpatrick.
Well, congrats to you, because what you've been doing hasn't been working. So
you guys okay with that pick? Am I going to be okay?
Does that matter?
It matters.
I think it's a decent pick, not for second place, but not for second pick.
I think it'd be. I think I'm worried about. If I were you, I'd be worried about the level of talent on that Dolphins defense.
Okay,
but
should have never.
It's hard
asked.
to fault you for. It's hard to fault you for picking Fitzpatrick.
Okay, well, I'm glad to hear that you give me partial credit.
Yeah.
Again,
So speaking of the Dolphins, Tony, you were next, and you went with Ryan
Yeah,
Tannehill.
I went with the Fitzpatrick counterpart in that game, Ryan Tannehill, who I think will have a worse game.
You want to put a side bet this week on just
You should.
who's going to have a worse week?
Yeah, I'll do that.
And he has his quarterback in, right?
Yeah, he's in.
Okay.
He's in
All
there.
right, mine's in as well. What would be a good side bet, Tony? What do you think?
Are we talking like cash? Or are we talking like something
No
else?
cash. We can't do cash. We're going to do like
Like a Chipotle burrito?
No, something Aaron wants like a embarrassing
12
stunt.
whiskey shots in one day.
Oh no! Again, that's insanity.
I'll do it.
Gatorade. We'll
Just make him do like a shot of nasty tequila or something.
all
like
right,
that.
deal. Shot of nasty tequila.
Okay.
No,
all right.
no lime,
My hand is
no
extended.
salt.
Tony's shaking the hand.
The
All
hand.
right, it's
Let's
on.
Let the record
Side
show.
bet.
Let the record show that Tony agreed to maybe do a shot, which
Man,
is
this
pretty big news.
This is huge news.
Yeah.
Good stuff. See,
So
this is
that
already
would
exciting
be a
week.
fun game to watch. Next up, we've got Drew, who went with Matt Stafford. I don't get this nickname. Who's John Pudge?
I don't know, but I was trying to figure it out, and it's just funny to call him Pudge because he is kind of like a chubby guy.
He's got a little. He's frat Stafford.
Yeah.
Who are they going up against? Minnesota. That's why he picked him.
Oh yeah,
It's a good pick.
Yeah, Minnesota's defense is solid,
Despite
not
last
counting
week.
last week.
So good choice. Better choice than Fitzpatrick. Anyway.
Ouch.
Then Alex took the coveted Browns quarterback.
Yes.
If I could trade
the
at
golden
this point-
goose.
Slimy, poopy Cody Kessler.
Oh man,
That's what he said. Clearly trying to mock Aaron.
Yeah, that's Aaron influence for sure.
that's a flattering nickname there.
Yeah.
I can tell you are a little bit flattered. I can tell.
I'm
your
very
cheek-
flattered,
your
especially
cheeks are
because
getting
I was the
red.
only one that started this nickname thing, and now everybody's doing it, and now it's a rule, and you've broken it already. So I'm very, very proud of it.
Who are they playing?
Browns are playing.
Are they playing Chicago? Because
they're-
they
they're
didn't go
down.
so well when their baseball team.
They're
played
playing
Chicago.
the Dallas Cowboys in Cleveland, which is a fun place to play. Last time I
man.
checked.
Zeke is gonna run
It's
all over.
it's kind
them,
of
man.
crazy to look at the 0-8 next to Cleveland's name.
It's fun.
So funny.
It could be. I wonder if they'd rather see 0-8 or 3-1. I wonder which one's worse. But
Oh, Brian's gonna stop listening to the podcast. From now on.
He's our only
he's
listener.
fuming.
too.
Yeah.
He's fuming.
Okay, so Taylor, this was 2 auto drafts in a row here. Taylor went with Joe Flacco, who Brian named Joe Sacco.
Appreciate that.
High effort.
Good.
Yeah. I mean, it's the commish making a nickname for someone else. He doesn't have to put in a lot of effort.
I never said it was good or bad or he has to. I'm just saying it's low effort.
I love the next one. I want to announce that one.
Well, let's talk about Flacco, and they're playing. Who we got here?
Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh. Okay,
At
that's
Pittsburgh.
So that's
Wait,
pretty
is
good.
that at Pittsburgh?
No, I don't think it is.
It
Silence,
is.
dead air.
Yeah, at Baltimore.
Yeah, at
You're right.
Baltimore. I don't think that's a bad auto draft. I think that'll be decent.
I'm gonna make a bold prediction and say that Flacco's gonna kind of tear up Pittsburgh's secondary.
Yeah, I picked up Joe Flacco in 2 regular
This
fantasy
is-
leagues.
I'm going to say that this is Bengals bias talking right
I don't
here.
know, man. I think
Pittsburgh's secondary is not
Yeah.
that great.
it's going to be a
It's-
slinger game. There's going to be some points scored in that whole game. I think Flacco's going to be a decent stream in a regular fantasy league.
But he'll still probably like get a sack fumble or something. That seems to happen to him.
Okay. Aaron, who's next?
John picked Dick Hole, Nick Foles.
And that was auto drafted as well.
Yeah.
And so Brian picked that name, so I feel like he should have at least called him Dick Holes, Nick Foles.
Yeah, that would have been better.
Because just like from a English language perspective, it just kind of flows a little better.
Good to hear everybody thinking creatively, though.
And Foles is Eagles? What happened to... No, he's Rams.
Yeah.
Shit.
No. Nick Foles is in Kansas City.
What?
Oh,
Yeah.
Alex Smith is hurt?
Yeah,
he is hurt. He is
He has a
hurt.
concussion. So Nick Foles is taking over in Kansas City, and they're playing Jacksonville on the road. So
Jacksonville squishy defense.
yeah,
as Aaron would say.
squishy. It's actually Jacksonville. It's actually Kansas City at home. So I'm getting really mixed up here. But yeah, they have Jacksonville has a very squishy D.
That could be trouble for John.
Yeah.
Even though Nick Foles is kind of shit.
And you know what? I'm gonna kind of put myself on blast. The first squishy defense team I claimed was the Miami Dolphins, and now I just picked the quarterback that's playing Miami Dolphins. So, still sticking by that pick, number 2.
All right, who we got next, Aaron?
We have Brian picking Tyrod, bad at football Taylor.
She must have really just exhausted all of his
Right.
Exactly.
options out.
Going up against Seattle, that's a great pick for late in the draft. I mean, Tyrod is good, but we just talked about him losing all his receivers and going up against Seattle at Seattle too.
Yeah, that could be a solid late pick there.
Exactly. I think that's the golden pick so far.
The golden pick.
That's the golden pick.
Ooh.
I don't know. I made that up.
Lauren followed that pick with the other Manning brother, not capitalizing Manning. So
Disrespect.
grammar is not a big priority here.
We're not
but
sure which brother she's talking about.
Yeah, and just
I think did she take the third Manning brother?
Yeah, she did.
Did she
Wow.
take what's that fucking guy's name?
Cooper.
Did she take Cooper Manning?
I think so.
All right.
0 points for her this week.
Let's see, who are they playing here? We've got the Giants against Philadelphia at home. That's pretty solid. Philadelphia's defense is pretty good.
They've been great this year.
Those NFC East games, though, man, those are some
you never
high
know.
points
It's just
sometimes.
like throw records out the window.
Mm-hmm.
And then wrapping it all up, the worst guy in the league, Gator. What was your team name this week?
Derek, worst Pixar movie Cars.
Bad.
That's great.
Bad.
That's funny.
Wrong.
I like the effort. You know what? I like it. So worst Pixar movie. You have some strong feelings about the movie Cars?
I'm not a big fan of it.
It's shitty, dude. Have you seen it?
I've not seen it.
You don't need to.
No.
It's definitely
It's
their
the worst
movie.
Pixar movie for sure.
Yeah.
You want to chime in? Jeff?
I think we got agreement in the room that Cars is a pretty poor movie.
I just real quick as an aside, what would you possibly say other than Cars 2 would be worse than Cars out of the Pixar movies?
I have none. That's the worst. It's the worst.
I think it's
now. I
think
haven't
it's-
seen Ratatouille, but I've heard good things.
It's
Tremendous
better. It's
movie.
way better than
Tremendous
I haven't
movie.
seen it. I've heard good things. I don't know. I love them. I love them all, but not Cars.
That's too bad that you don't like Cars. Decent name overall.
Anyway, I'm a fan of Derek Carr. I think he's actually a pretty solid quarterback, but he's going up against Denver, and I think since I'm at the very bottom, I didn't really have a lot of options anyway. So
I could see a Oakland upset over Denver this week.
Okay, that's fair.
4 to 5 touchdowns for Derek Carr.
Okay, well, I don't think that's gonna happen. I think I'm gonna get at least 2 interceptions. And I think coming from the bottom, that's a great pick. So
Crickets.
I agree. You're right. I think as the 10th pick in this bye week hell, I think that's about as good as you could have done.
yep. I thought about taking Winston for Thursday, and I'm glad I didn't. He only ended up with 6 points or something like that.
Yeah, he's another one of those guys that I just not super comfortable taking, even though they've had some real bad games.
Mm-hmm.
The lamest Jameis Winston.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, looking forward to this week's games. Again, glad the Bengals aren't playing, so we can just have a week where we don't have to pull our freaking hair out because they're not that great of a football team. I guess, do we want to cover the lines real quick, or are we just gonna kind of wrap it up?
Nah, let's.
We're gonna lose anyway.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
gonna lose all our money.
We're gonna have to reassess this whole betting thing.
Yeah.
I suggest maybe putting in next year where we don't bet at all because we fucking suck at it. So.
I think next year our luck will sort of even out. Isn't that how it works?
We won't lose all of our money.
If you just keep gambling, it'll turn around someday.
Everybody knows that.
Yeah.
keep putting it down. Well, I appreciate the extension invite again this week, gents. I'm your guest host as always. These are the main hosts, Gator Strand and Mr. Tony D. You have any signing off you got to do?
Just me, Tony D, and me, your boy G, signing off.
Wow.
That's a throwback
It's
right
an old
there.
rap lyric
That's
for
a throwback.
the OGs.
Aaron C, Tony D, me, your boy G.
That's rough.
Coming straight from the hood of the
Oh
513.
my God. Okay. I'm glad that we're done with this one now. Yikes.
Yep. That being said, y'all, this was the 3-Step Flop. I'm Gator Strand.
Tony Littell.
I'm Aaron Carnevale, y'all. We'll see you later, fellas.